Science can only explain what we could perceive. It can only explain what we sense. Anything outside of our sensory, it cannot explain. You know what I mean? That's why. Sorry, dude, but science is something. I mean, honestly, like, think about it like this, yo. Like, science is. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with science. I'm just think about it like this, bro. If you write, think about it like this, yo. Let me get y'all an example real quick. I'm gonna do something real quick. Alright, so y'all see this piece of paper, right? I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. If I draw a stick figure on this piece of paper and I draw I don't know, a gun in his hand, right? Okay, now let's say I don't know something. I wrote this on a piece of paper. Anything that I write stays on this piece of paper. Now let's say by whatever means, with some miracle, the stick figures they just started on this piece of paper. Everything just started moving by itself, right? But here's the thing. The paper can't see what I see. You know what I mean? He can only perceive what's on his level, aka 2D. You feel me? So anything I draw on this paper stays on this paper. That's basically the world we're in. We're on this piece of paper and we can't see what's above the piece of paper. You know what I mean? That's basically, I know it's a shitty drawing, but that's the example I'm trying to make. We're basically a bunch of fucking characters on a piece of paper, and this is us, right? Let's say this is us, and we're like, oh, we know shit, blah 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 blah. And yeah, that's right. Like, you see, we can say, oh, we know this line, and we know here, and we know there. You feel me? But this is only what we can see on this piece of paper. But what about the motherfucker with the pen? You feel me? No matter how hard he tries to see, he cannot see this pen. No matter, because that's not his reality. That's not his dimension. That's what I'm saying. We are the piece of fucking paper. That's what I'm trying to get to y'all. So to act like we know it, like, here's the thing. That's basically what I'm saying. This stick figure can only perceive. He can only say what's on this piece of paper. Let's say I put a tree, right? And let's say I put like a car or some shit. You know what I mean? This motherfucker, he can see this shit, right? Because he has. Let me give him some little eyes real quick, right? Whatever he sees and whatever he feels is what he perceives. He could perceive this tree. He can see this, but this is only what he can see. You know what I mean? That's basically the point I'm trying to make. But, yeah. I'm done. We think we know it all, but we really don't know this shit. You know what I mean? We're just stick figures on a piece of paper. That's all it is, bro. It's just, instead of just a flat piece of paper, this is a three-dimensional piece of paper which has height, width, you feel me? All that shit, depth. That's our plane of existence. We're basically on that piece of paper, and it's like, no matter how hard we try, we can't really reach up and fucking see the nigga that's doing the drawing. You know what I mean? That's basically that's how I'm trying to explain dimensions and shit. You feel me? Tommy left the Matrix. Fuck yeah. And yo, I'm telling y'all, you start seeing glitches in this shit, bro. That's why I said life is a game we all fucking play. Once you figure out how to play the fucking game, that's when this shit gets easier for you. But you feel me? But like I said, you can't play the game with the intent of trying to win the game. Because if you're trying to put yourself above others, you've already lost. We have to understand that you and me and everyone else, we're all the same. You feel me? It's like, or what's another good example? Like, think about, I have another great example. Think about your dog. If any of you guys have a dog or a pet or a cat or whatever it may be, think about it like this, yo. We know, like, we as humans, thanks to science and what we can perceive, we know that dogs can't physically understand what we're saying. Like, we could be like, oh my god, you're so cute, whatever, right? But the dogs, they're not going to understand what we're saying. But depending on our tone and our emotion, they're going to be able to reciprocate that feeling. That's the thing. animals and shit, they can't understand our language. So when we're like, oh my god, I love you, whatever the fuck it may be, all the dog hears is whatever. But he feels that emotion, he feels that love. That's him receiving that energy source. So he gives you that shit back, right? So he can't understand what you're saying on a physical level, but he feels what you're trying to say. He feels you. That's why dogs love you, and that's why they can tell when you're down, and that's why they can perceive these types of things. Because dogs aren't like humans. They're not egotistical. Dogs are just, if anything, they're conscious. You know what I mean? They really don't, they just reciprocate whatever's given back to them. So think about this. Think about us as the dogs. You know what I mean? The same way that we give love to dogs and they can't understand our language, but they try to understand us through tone and emotion. Love is the universal language of the universe. Think about this. We are the dogs to something bigger. And no matter how hard we try to talk to them, we can't understand their language. You feel me? That in their language is frequencies and vibrations and all that. So they use gestures and tones to communicate, just how they do in real life. That's why we have wind. That's why we have water. That's why we have all this shit. Those are physical manifestations of them trying to, that's them. That's the energy cycle repeating again. Y'all see what I'm trying to say? Y'all see what I'm trying to say, bro? Exactly. The dogs, they use our gestures and tones to communicate. And that's how they understand us. The universe uses their gestures and tone to communicate with us. That's just like another example, like a way to look at it. But yeah. Because they're on a vibrational level. See, that's the thing about cats and dogs and shit. They're on a level where they don't think about themselves as self. Since they have no sense of self, all they do is receive emotion and reciprocate it. Because most animals don't have that conscious state of being. You feel me? So, but yeah, basically it's like, and here's the thing, it's like everyone's trying to understand this alien language that you can't understand. You just have to let it be. You feel me? That's the reason why there's so much bad and good in the world. No matter what happens, there's always going to be bad and good things happening, because there can be good without bad and there can't be bad without good. It's impossible. You know what I mean? So, peace out to everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed the little talk. I know I was kind of all over the place, but I hope I showed you guys something. I don't know. I'll see y'all. Gang.